You did it wrong. You did it wrong. He did it wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. And so don't come talk about, oh yeah, well, subject to is hard and subject to is not good. I got ripped off. No, 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 my friend. In this video, I'm going to show you an investor who lost their money in subject to. He was doing flips before, and now he thought, okay, I'm going to get into subject to. Or at least he thought he was just going into another deal brought to him by a wholesaler.
That was the biggest deal of my life. I was sitting on a ton of capital. I was eager to put it to work. And I went to lunch with who I viewed as a player in the Utah market. I didn't know a ton. He just seemed like he knew his stuff.
Just a wholesaler. Nothing wrong with that, right?
So I went to lunch with this guy, and he proposed that he had this deal that was a 3% interest rate, 2014 build. But there are some levels of protection I throw up if someone is a wholesaler. This guy was doing a lot bigger deals apparently. And so that layer of due diligence was kind of out the window for myself.
He didn't do his due diligence because the guy was too big. He does big deals. Really? You should always do your due diligence.
Long story short, I bought the deal from this guy. There was another investor on it, and I had to submit my earnest money to snag it. The numbers penciled. I viewed this guy as someone who I could trust. I asked about all the risks, being new to the creative world, and I was sold on it.
Yeah, so this investor met with the wholesaler. The wholesaler is the one that talked him up on the deal. He never met the seller, never looked at the mortgage paperwork probably, and he never checked out the deal. He just trusted someone else. I don't know how much of it I believe, but you can't go into a deal, especially a subject to deal, when you're taking over somebody else's mortgage without the benefit of talking to the original mortgage holder so that you could get some insight about why they were in default, what kind of a loan it is, and how much they owe. Did they have some sort of a down payment assistance that is like a silent loan that needs to be paid if they transfer title? Was it like a special kind of a loan where the type of loan means that it's tied to them and it's tied to their income? None of that was mentioned here. So he had no connection with the seller, which was a red flag. Would be a red flag to me. Somebody brought me a deal and says, well, you can't talk to the seller. First of all, I wouldn't be paying those entry fees.
Zero involvement in that negotiation part. The wholesaler at play was working with a listing agent who they were formulating the offer, and I had no say in contracts, no say in negotiation. Here are the terms. I'm going to take them over. And in the wholesale world, in the off-market world, which a lot of people don't realize, where the best deals are, quotation marks,
Yeah. Okay. So he had no contact with that so the realtor and the wholesaler apparently were in cahoots, and they're the ones that set the rates and the terms for this deal. So he was just told, okay, these are the rates and these are the terms. So yeah, that's it. Take it. You could have like walked away, right? You can walk away from deals you don't like. You know that, right?
The earnest money is non-refundable.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you submit your earnest money, you're locked in, or else you're losing that. Signing things, I recognized that part, but I didn't know what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't recognize the risks that were associated. Really? You could have just Googled it. You could have just Googled it. Some kind of chat, even Chat GPT could have told you that there is a risk. You need to find out this, this, and this. Nah, sorry. I don't buy it.
When I was signing things, I recognized that part, but I didn't know what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
So I recognized that I was taking over payments for someone. I didn't recognize the risks associated.
I see.
You didn't recognize the risks associated.
So I bought the
Yeah.
property. I put $110,000.
He puts
I
money
rehabbed
into it,
it,
and
which
rehabs it.
in this case, the rehab was just finishing the basement. So I put 70,000 into refinishing the basement. I put renters in there. Keep in mind now the cash flow is great. It's coming in. I'm happy. Things are rolling. And then this is the big kicker. I get a text from my tenant who's lived there for a month and a half with a letter posted on the front door that this property is going to auction.
Going to auction. That, again, he could have known that. Seriously. If you are sophisticated at all, or even if you're a newbie, you would know enough to check out the property, right? You need to know what the status of the property is. You need to know if it's in foreclosure or if it's current. So that's what going to the owner or the seller directly could do for you, because then you're going to get a copy of his mortgage statement. And on the mortgage statement, it's going to say, okay, this is the amount that you have to pay every month. If he's behind, it's going to show how much he needs to bring the loan current. And then, of course, you're going to get your butt on the phone and call the lender to find out what the status of this loan is.
Yes, exactly. So I'm freaking out at this point. I'm talking to the wholesaler. I'm talking to the listing agent, and their words to me are, this is completely normal. This is fine. We've handled this before. We've been able to revert it back. You're totally good. So then next steps are they convert it to a contract for deed. Contract for deed means now my title, my deed, my certificate of ownership is now being transferred back to the original owner. And that is supposed to save a due on sale clause.
Oh, that is such a mess. Okay, so this guy enters into this subject to deal, and he's listening to the real estate agent that doesn't represent him, by the way. And he's listening to a wholesaler who's in it for himself. And you want to listen to these people so that they can tell you, after you put all this money into a property, $70,000 to renovate the basement, and now they're telling you, oh, we need to take it out of your name. You think that was going to come out of my hot little hands? Hell no. That's where I find an attorney and know they're not getting the title. Hell no. Because here is what could happen. He could go to it's foreclosed, right? Now he's gotten a message on his door that says the property has been foreclosed. So what that means now, it's going to get sold at the auction. Whoever is on title is going to get the overage, if there's any. You think I'm going to be giving up my title? No, not after I put $70,000 of renovation in the property. No. At the very least, I'll allow the owner to come on title with me, but I'm not coming off. So this person said that they didn't know, and they went ahead and signed over the deal back to the owner. They signed over the deal back to the owner. And I'm thinking, okay, so now you want to make it into a contract for deed, which is seller financing? Oh, this is a mess. You did it wrong. You did it wrong. He did it wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. And so don't come talk about, oh yeah, well, subject to is hard and subject to is not good. I got ripped off. No, 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 my friend. You did it wrong. You did it wrong. Take responsibility for it. And then you went ahead and, anyway, so I'm done now. I'm going to stop ranting. But that's how not to do a subject to deal, my friends. Rule number 1, must deal with the seller yourself. If there's a wholesaler there and you want to pay his hefty entry fee, right? And if there's a realtor there and you don't mind paying those fees, That's fine. But guess what? You're going to say, I'm not going to sign this contract until I get to speak with that owner. And if you don't want to sell it to me, fine. But there's no way I'm going to sign a contract with an owner that I have not met or I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about this transaction. No way. I'm not going to take over a loan that I know nothing about. That makes no sense at all. So number one, got to deal with that owner myself. Number two, I need to see that mortgage statement. I need to see a current mortgage statement. That means one that was printed today. Yesterday would be fine. So if it was printed just recently, so I could see what the balance on that mortgage is. I want to see the escrow balances to see if they're backed up at all. And I want to see the loan balance. I want to see a title report, right? A title report. You can do your own title searches too. You need to see if there are any other liens. Then you want to call the bank to find out if the loan is current or not. Is it current? Are they in foreclosure? Oh, is there a sale date? Oh, let me jot that down. Sale date is what? Tomorrow? Okay, thank you very much. And then after that, if you still want to do the deal, then maybe you want to ask, hey, will the bank accept a loan modification or any kind of a loan workout? Yes? Okay, then we can put the contract aside until we work out all that. But you can't buy a defective loan, a property with a defective loan, and you can't take over a defective loan without fixing it so you can keep it, right? Otherwise, I mean, you could take over the defective loan, but you got to know what you're doing, and you got to make that loan current before you take it. Enough said. Anyway, until next time, my fellow investors, don't get scammed. Don't get scammed. Better you find your deal yourself and deal with the homeowner yourself. Be sure to watch the other videos on foreclosure and taking over homes subject to that are in foreclosure. That video should be coming up somewhere here. Please subscribe to the channel and give a like. Thank you so much.